Do have to soundproof it to make sure none of those loud crashes from the set ever make their way out onto the street. And of course, none of our lovely trees here make it onto the morning news. That being said though, the reason it's soundproofed is those large red crosses. Now those are actually made of industrialized rubber, a very dense material that does not allow any sound to pass through it. That being what insulates it, I guess audio, or insulates the audio of it. Things we see filmed from here, we have our Space Network based out of here, which is our sci-fi channel, and Hockey Night in Canada is also filmed from there. Okay guys, we're going to come to stop 14 quite soon. Now guys, your stop number 14 is going to be your first of 2 stops for the CN Tower, the Rogers Center, and Ripley's Aquarium. Now if you're looking ahead though guys, not to worry, we always stop at stop 14 because stop 14 is our break stop. We'll be taking a bit of a break from here, but a 15-minute break. I'll let you know when the bus is getting going again in just a second, just going to check the schedule here. But if you're going to head to the CN Tower, the Rogers Center, or Ripley's Aquarium, you're going to go directly ahead of us. Follow the Blue Jays fans here, they're heading towards that area too. You'll go up the stairs or the ramp just to your right, which will take you to a bridge. Cross that bridge and you'll be right there with the CN Tower, the Rogers Center, and Ripley's Aquarium. If you're going to stay with us after 14 though guys, you want to keep touring with us, that's fine by us. This bus is going to get going again at 11 o'clock. Please make sure that you're back on the bus by 11 if you want to keep touring with us today. While we're stopped here though, feel free to walk around. Now guys, we're going to continue driving along here, and as we do, this building to our right is called the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, or the MTCC for short. As you'd expect given the name, this is where Toronto does most of its conventions. From here we'll do things like our annual bridal shows, auto shows, and university fairs. We'll also do some, interesting conventions like bodybuilder conventions or tattoo conventions. Other times though, some get very formal, such as very frequently we see the Microsoft convention. We also had a few G20 summits and stuff like that. Additionally guys, we're going to be approaching actually another one of our stops already. Once we cross the intersection, we'll be on our way to stop number 15. Your stop side guys, there's no standing on the top deck here. Thank you. Now, stop 15 is your stop for Union Station. Also your closest stop to the Fairmont Royal York if you are headed there. That being the hotel, the Fairmont Royal York Hotel. With that in mind, is anyone looking to hop off at stop 15 for Union Station? Alright, I got no stop request up top for stop 15. All seated and good to go up top. So folks, up at this intersection, just on the far left corner of the intersection, you can see a very, very large beige building there. Well, that beige building is the Fairmont Royal York Hotel. It's on the far left corner there. That hotel is actually the hotel of choice for the British royal family. If any of them ever looking to stay here in Toronto, whether it's one of them or all of them, they'll be doing so right at the Fairmont. To that end though, it was always constructed to house the British royal family. We always wanted them to stay there. So the architecture reflects that. As we pull away, it'll become a little more apparent, but the Fairmont Royal York is shaped like a throne, guys. Again, shaped like a throne because we wanted the British royal family to stay here, and of course they do. If you wanted that perfect throne shape, you wanted that perfect view, you would have to go to the front of Union Station, which is far on the right corner of the intersection, but like directly ahead of us right now. If you go to the front of Union Station there, you face the Fairmont, you'll get that perfect throne-shaped view. Otherwise, you should be able to see it from the bus as we turn away. With that in mind though guys, we actually are about to head underneath Union Station, meaning that we're going to go under a bridge here. Those of you up top, please remain seated as always, and also make sure that your hands and cameras are safely inside the vehicle here as we go under. With that in mind, we are all good up top of the bridge. No. You see it? back out into the open air. And that means, guys, up at this intersection, if you look down the road to your left, once we reach the intersection, down the road to your left, you'll see one of our sports venues here in Toronto. Now, this is the Air Canada Centre, or the ACC for short, where you can see 3 Toronto teams play. 3 teams, guys. From here, we got the Toronto Maple Leafs, our oh-so-well-known hockey team. Also, the Toronto Raptors play from there, our basketball team, and the Toronto Rock, which is our lacrosse team. Additionally, if you guys look off in the distance here, and you look very slightly to the right, you should be seeing one of the most iconic landmarks pop up quite soon, the Canadian National Tower, or the CN Tower. It's his name you're probably a bit more familiar with. And the CN Tower actually stands at 553.3 meters tall. If you put it on feet, that is 1,815.6 feet tall. In fact, guys, this structure is quite tall. It used to be the tallest freestanding structure in the world. However, these days it does not hold that record. It was outdone in 2009 by the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It's still the tallest point in Toronto, though, guys, and where you're going to be seeing the tallest fireworks from here in the city. As today is Canada Day, our 150th anniversary, we're going to have fireworks coming out of the CN Tower today. That'll be coming up at 10:30 p.m. guys, in the at night, 10:30. Now it'll be going on for about 5 minutes, which doesn't really sound like too much, but again, guys, that is a continuous 5 minutes of fireworks coming out of the CN Tower. We have a couple other sites through the city that will be doing fireworks as well. I'll point them out during the tour. Or you can just go to CN Tower Observation nowadays, which is open until 10:30 p.m. as well. After they've gotten everyone out of the tower, they'll be doing the fireworks, of course. Another good late attraction is the Ripley's Aquarium coming up on our right as well. This aquarium remains open until 11 p.m. and is another great thing to keep in mind for later on in the day. Off to our left, however, we've got the John Street Roundhouse, home to Toronto's Railroad Museum and the Steam Whistle Brewing Company. Guys, the Steam Whistle is a beer brewing company here in Toronto, but they'll also be doing a Canada Day event tonight where you'll see some performances by local bands where you can drink their craft beer and watch the fireworks from the Steam Whistle's viewing area. However, guys, we are approaching stop number 16 here. This is your final stop for the CN Tower, Rogers Centre, and Ripley's Aquarium. Is anyone looking to hop off at stop 16 today? Got no stop requests up top for stop 16. Looks like we're gonna head out again. So coming up on the right, of course, is the Rogers Centre, another one of our sports venues here in Toronto. Although I'm sure you guys would have such a tough time figuring out your place here, huh? Showing you such a well-hidden secret. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Obviously, we make it quite obvious that the Toronto Blue Jays play here. This is, of course, our Major League Baseball team. And guys, as I'm sure it would also be very hard to guess, we do have a Blue Jays game going on today. Once again, kidding here. Obviously, it is quite apparent. That being said, we'll be playing against the Boston Red Sox later on today. Catch a game, I believe, starting at 1:07 here. You can also have some lovely Canada Day events going on from the square area around those 3 attractions that we passed by. The Rogers Centre is home to the Toronto Blue Jays, and as you saw, we are quite proud of them. They're a very, very great source of pride here in Toronto. The reason for this, guys, is that the Blue Jays are actually the only Canadian team in the Major League of Baseball. Now, the reason for this is all of our other Canadian baseball teams have formed their own separate Canadian Baseball League here in the country of Canada, of course. Our Blue Jays, however, are the only baseball team that crosses the border to go play with the American League, the Major League of Baseball. So we like to say they have the support of an entire nation behind them, which you saw as we went by. And again, guys, the game has not even started yet. Once the game is over, however, you'll see a sea of blue and white pouring through the streets of Toronto. Ideally, we'll win this game because I do believe we lost last night against them, so we'll see how that goes going on. Now, guys, as we are currently on our way to the Toronto Harbor. Now, that means we'll be approaching the site for the City Sightseeing boat tour I'm sure you've heard so much about. But guys, first, before we hop to the boat tour, look ahead of us and to your right and you'll see a really cool event going on. Now, there's a festival going on for Canada's 150th anniversary being put on by the Harbourfront Centre. And as you can see, a large inflatable rubber duck is out in our lake right now. The reason for that, guys, is this duck has been traveling all around the world. It's been to China, it's been to Japan, it's been to the States, and now it's here in Toronto. It's here for our 150th anniversary, be celebrating alongside with us. No one knows exactly what the purpose of it is, but it's been traveling around the world. Go take a picture with it before it leaves Toronto. Please go check out the festival here, guys. Once again, no standing on the top deck of this bus, please. Please grab your seats as quick as you can. Thank you. Now, once again, guys, the festival will be going on. The Harbourfront Centre does a number of festivals like that. We'll actually be passing by it later on during the tour here. But first, of course, we will have to get to our stop for the boat tour. Now, I'll start telling you guys a bit about the boat tour now. Our boat tour here at City Sightseeing is a 45-minute tour of the Lake Ontario. This tour will take you through the Toronto Islands and along the Toronto Harbour. You actually get one of the best views of the city skyline that you'll probably get during your entire stay here, however. Additionally, the tour is fully narrated, meaning we will have a tour guide on board, much like myself, just of course on a boat. Tours today will run every half hour, guys. The first one of the day is going to be at 11:30, so you guys should make pretty good time for that one. We have two boats that we're running. One is a smaller boat with a capacity of 45 that has no overhang. It's completely outdoors. That one will run on the hours. So we'll be running at 12, we'll be running at 1, 2, 3, etc. Our larger boat, the Harbour Star, with a capacity of 100, will be running on the half hour. So if you want to catch the 11:30 boat, that would be on the Harbour Star, the larger one. That boat has outdoor, indoor, and outdoor with an overhang areas, meaning those shaded areas on the boat as well as just pure outside areas. Additionally, to get on the boat, guys, the ticket you use is the exact same one for the bus, exact same ticket. If you've got your bus ticket, you show that to the people on the boat and they'll get you on free of charge. Additionally, the dock for the boat tour is not directly beside our stop for the boat tour, so the dock is not directly beside stop 17. It's going to be about a 2 to 3 minute walk away, not too far at all, and you will have someone that will walk you guys over. A City Sightseeing employee will guide you over to the dock, so as long as you follow their instructions, you will not get lost at all. Don't you worry about that. With that in mind, we're going to be approaching stop 17 in just a moment here. This is your one and only stop for the harbour if you want to go check out the Harbourfront Festival, and also your stop for the City Sightseeing boat tour. Is there anyone interested in hopping off at stop 17? Yes, we do have stop requests. Don't you worry, guys, we'll be stopping for you. As you hop off at stop 17, and in general today, just a heads up that we do accept tips at City Sightseeing if you enjoyed the tour. If you did enjoy it, I got a tip jar at the top and the bottom of the stage.
Там самолеты. Вот, ярко видишь?
Хвосты, вон там, видишь, хвостики торчат.
Ой, хорошо. Тенек, морской ветерок. Мы туда, сюда и обратно.
Видела какой-то хвост, а вода вот она прямо под ногами.
Чего?
Чуть крен и все.
Не бойся. Озеро.
Ничего.
Самолет летает.
Это корабль.
Летает самолет.
Вон маленький, видишь, прилетел.
Hello everybody and happy Canada Day. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Really? Nobody is excited? Nobody is happy? It's sunny? Finally? Let's try that again. And be as loud as you can because we need to be louder than that boat over there to show them how awesome we are, okay? How is everybody doing today? There we go. And everybody on that boat is jealous now. So my name is Robbie, and I do like to begin my tours by testing the waters a bit, pun intended. Can anybody tell me what lake we are on right now? Lake Ontario, that is correct. And Lake Ontario is one of how many Great Lakes? 5. And what is the maximum depth of Lake Ontario? Answer in both meters and feet. 8,000 feet? A bit less. Lake Ontario is one of the deepest of the Great Lakes, despite having it being the smallest by surface area. It has a maximum depth of 244 meters, or 802 feet. So I'll give you a point for the 8. How about that? Now, this part of the lake that we're on is the Toronto Inner Harbor. It is actually fairly shallow at a maximum depth of only 12 meters or 44 feet. Sadly, in the wintertime, this means that it freezes over with a nice sheet of ice. However, we do not play hockey on it like all good Canadians do, and that is because, one, not all Canadians play hockey in the wintertime. I know, it's surprising, but it's true. The second reason is we still have to get boats across the harbor, and we have ships called icebreakers that do just that. They allow us to break the ice. Now, if you look to the back right of the boat, you will see a giant rubber duck, which I'll talk about a bit later on in our tour. But just to the left of that duck, you will notice a red and white boat. That boat there is called the William Lyon Mackenzie, named after Toronto's first mayor, and is one of 2 firefighting boats we have here in the Toronto shoreline. That particular boat is built on a modified tugboat hull, giving it both ice-breaking and fire-extinguishing capabilities. Now, if you look around the rubber duck and the William Lyon Mackenzie, you will notice a number of condominiums. We do really like our condominiums here. And you, ma'am, have a vanilla bean latte from Second Cup. Good on you. Now, those condominiums, 2 of them are connected by a bridge. And I point that bridge out not because it's nifty having a bridge connecting 2 condominiums, but because of what is inside of that bridge. Inside of that bridge is actually a swimming pool. So the residents of either one of those buildings can go for a swim while pretending that they are birds in the air, therefore becoming the new Torontonian animal, the condominium birdfish. You will notice, speaking of birds, that we have an airport beside us, because planes fly too. That airport there is the 9th busiest in Canada, welcoming 2.5 million passengers every year to our lovely city. That particular airport is called the Billy Bishop Toronto Island Airport. It is named after Billy Bishop, the Canadian First World War pilot. He also won the Victoria Cross Medal and was instrumental in creating the Commonwealth Air Training Program during the Second World War. In his fighter pilot career, he is credited with 72 victories, including shooting down the infamous Red Baron of Germany. Now, if you're looking at being one of the 2.5 million passengers flying in or out of this airport, there are 2 ways you can connect to the mainland. One of those ways is by taking a ferry ride, taking an entire 90 seconds, one of the shortest in the world. The second way is by taking a tunnel that goes right underneath the Toronto Harbor. Now, we do like our construction here in Toronto, but we also like delaying it once we think of something to build. They first thought about building that tunnel in 1935 and only actually got around to building it in 2012. And if you ask me, that's a very long time to get construction underway. You will notice at this airport there are no big jumbo jets, no big Airbus A380s or Boeing 747s. That is because big jumbo jets would create a lot of noise that would travel very well over the waterways, and we don't want to disturb either the residents or the wildlife, including the rubber duck that we have here by the Toronto Harbor. Instead, we only allow propeller craft to land or take off here, with the exception being for military and medical transport aircraft. There is also a curfew put into place, which is 11 p.m. at night. Any pilot caught being naughty and taking off or landing after 11 p.m. will be fined up to $10,000. There is also a fine for any operator of any vessel going into this white buoyed area. We can see to our right that there marks the extended landing and takeoff zone for the airport, and any captain would be fined up to $10,000. This airport is built on one of the 14 islands we have here in Toronto, this particular island being called Hanlon's Point, named after the Hanlon family, some of the first permanent inhabitants of the islands year-round. They like living on the island so much, they decided to build a hotel there so everybody else could enjoy their very nice Torontonian island life. Now, that hotel was a 5-star hotel, and beside that hotel, they built a baseball stadium. Are there any baseball fans on the boat today? Yes? I see a number of hands. What is everybody's favorite team? Toronto Blue Jays, that is correct. I had a gentleman on my tour a few days ago who was wearing a New York Yankees cap. Boo. New York Yankees shirt. Boo. New York Yankees socks. Boo. And I'm pretty sure he had New York Yankees underwear on. Ew. Anyway, so he proudly said that his favorite team was the Toronto Blue Jays, and I didn't believe him at first, but after 15 minutes of him telling me why, I did believe him, and that's the story I'm sticking to. So I'm sure all of you, even if you're not baseball fans, know of Babe Ruth. In 1914, Babe Ruth hit his first professional home run at the baseball stadium that once stood to our right. That ball went all the way from home plate right into Lake Ontario. Now that ball has never been seen since, despite it having an estimated value of over $1 million, and it is unlikely for anybody to claim that prize on eBay, as swimming in these waters is not allowed. That is because we have a lot of motorized vessels that come through here on a daily basis, and we don't want anybody to get injured. Now you may see coming up on our right on shore, just past the Hanlan's Point Ferry docks, there is a boat. That boat is a retired ferry as well as a retired icebreaker, named after Ned Hanlan, who is one of the Hanlan family members. Ned was involved in the bootlegging of alcohol from Canada to the U.S. during the American Prohibition period, and he also won multiple competitions in the sport of rowing around the world. There is a statue of Ned holding one of his rowing oars beside that boat there. As well, if you are interested in the story of Ned Hanlan, Nicolas Cage played him in the 1986 film on Ned's Life, The Boy in Blue. Now, I did mention that swimming in this particular body of water is not allowed. However, just on the other side of the island, swimming is allowed. If you're thinking to yourself, oh, so I can go for a swim, that is amazing. It's a beautiful day, the sun is out, the sun is shining, I can work on my tan, I can go for a swim, but oh no! I forgot my bathing suit at home. That is okay, my friends, because one of those beaches is a clothing optional beach! Normally there's like a few people who go, yay! Well, since nobody did shout out yay, it actually makes my job a bit less sad, because unfortunately we will not be going by it. So parents, you don't have to shield your kids' eyes. Although we won't be seeing that particular beach from our tour, we will most likely be able to see many different species of wildlife. We are in between two major North American flyways, and when birds are migrating from south to north, the first patch of land they see and rest on are the Toronto Islands. Every year, about 200 species of birds are seen here, with about 60 calling the islands home. Keen bird watchers might be able to see some geese, ducks, cormorants, herons, kingfishers, and swans. Now, just a side note about swans, they're absolutely beautiful, but they bite, so don't try to pet one. In these waters, if you're an angler, you might be able to catch some catfish, pike, bass, and carp. However, you do have to have a license issued by the provincial government, and it is catch and release only. On land, you can often see beavers, our national animal, as well as muskrats, raccoons, and turtles by the water's edge. There have been reports of coyote and deer on the islands over the years, and a little girl yesterday told me she saw the elusive violent unicorn. So keep your eye out for that one. On our left, we have Muggs Island, which is home to the Island Yacht Club. For the very reasonable price of $2,000 a year, you yourself can be a member, and that will get you access to their private swimming pool, their fund, and Algonquin Island, where the permanent residents live. These two islands have the only residential communities on the islands, and between the 262 homes that are built there, about 750 Torontonians live there year-round. If you're looking at getting a house on the island, there is a bit of a process to do so. The first step being to get onto the purchasers list, a list that has 500 spots and only opens up to new applicants when 25 spots become available. At that time, it's a random lottery draw to get yourself on that list. If you're lucky enough to get on that list, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a house on the islands, as houses, once they become available, are only offered to the first 150 people on the purchasers list. It is estimated that between 2 to 3 homes will be sold each year, and the time that it'll take from getting onto that purchasers list to getting a house on the islands will be about 27 years. If you don't have 27 years to wait, there is a bit of a different way to get a house on the islands. That is simply by marrying into a family that already lives out there. If anybody's interested in that second option, my mama is a family lawyer in Toronto, so we can talk after the tour. Out to the right, you may notice that there is the rusty-looking building with red sides, and that there is the Red Patch Sugar Refinery. Sugar is brought raw from the Caribbean all the way through the Atlantic Ocean and St. Lawrence Seaway to that refinery, where it is in fact refined and then distributed all across Canada so that we all can enjoy our Tim Hortons coffee with a bit of sugar. If anybody's interested, the Red Patch Sugar Refinery does offer a free museum all about the process of refining sugar, as well as the businesses surrounding the sugar trade. Directly in front of the boat right now on land, you are able to see a white bridge. That bridge there is called the Amsterdam Bridge, named after the city of Amsterdam, and is an identical bridge to the Toronto Bridge, which is in Amsterdam. So the Amsterdam Bridge is in Toronto, and the Toronto Bridge is in Amsterdam. This is because Amsterdam and Toronto are sister cities. Now, from either end of that bridge, you're able to get the best unobstructed view of the CN Tower that you can find on land. So if you are thinking, I have not taken enough selfies today, you can head on over to either end of that bridge, face the lake, have your camera facing the CN Tower, smile, click, and you will be able to get a fantastic photo of you and our iconic building. Just to the right of that on shore, you're able to see the Harbourfront Center stage. That there is owned and operated by the Harbourfront Center, a non-for-profit organization dedicated to the revitalization and recreation of Toronto's shoreline. They put on over 4,000 events every year, and including today's Canada Day celebrations, which includes fireworks that are beginning around 10:50 tonight. So if anybody is looking for a great place to watch fireworks, they bring a barge out into the Toronto Harbor and launch those beautiful, colorful rockets off of it. So head on down here at about 10 to 11 tonight, and you'll be guaranteed a good show. Now we are coming up on a rubber ducky. Now that duck there is brought over and has been rented by the province of Ontario for the month of July and August to have its home in the Toronto Harbor and then paraded all across the province. The duck stands 6 stories tall, weighs over 13 tons, and is the absolute largest rubber duck in the world. This also means with its size and weight, you might not be able to fit it in your bathtub. If anybody is interested in checking out that duck, you can always head down to HTO Park, which is that urban park there we can see to our right by the duck. HTO Park is an urban park opened in 2007. Has a number of water features that accentuate water returning back to its source. In Canada, we really do like our fresh water, as we hold about 22% of the world's freshwater supply amongst all 5 Great Lakes. I do apologize for the pause. This is actually the first time I am seeing this duck up close, and it's actually kind of very cool. And look at that, it has eyes! And if anybody is wondering what I am looking at, there is a duck to our right. Now, just up ahead of us and to the left very shortly is a beige building with green windows. That there is King's Landing, which is one of the oldest permanent residences on Toronto's Central Harbourfront. In total, it has 320 units, including the rehearsal space for the National Ballet of Canada.